This is Mr. Bradford, and I put this video together to help you understand how the grades will be calculated using the ungrading method. This is my second year using the method, and it worked really well last year, so I'd like to keep doing it. Let me say up front that the whole reason for this is to try to generate a class where you can care more about learning than you do about points. I know points matter, and I know we're all trying to get into prestigious colleges here, but I believe that if we can really focus more on the learning, the points will take care of themselves. And so I tried to generate the class where that could be the case. The other thing is, I believe this system is more equitable. If you're a different type of learner or you do things on a different timeline than other people, this should give you the maximum amount of grace for a particular class. So this is how it's going to work. Basically, all year long, all semester long, you're going to be doing lots of work. You're going to be writing, you're going to be reading, you're going to be discussing, you're going to be practicing grammar, you're going to be practicing vocabulary. And I'm going to be giving you feedback on these things. Though instead of getting a number on that feedback, you'll just get feedback on how to make it better. And then at the end of the semester, we're going to sit down and we're going to have a conversation on where your grade falls based on these expectations, which of course you have from what is actually before day one of class. And then based on that, you're going to tell me what grade you think you deserve. And we're going to agree upon a number together. These expectations, if you'll notice, they're all black and white. You should be able to tell at any point in the semester where you fall in any of these categories because all of them are usually a matter of counting. So it's not, was Mr. Bradford in a good mood when he looked at this? It is clearly identifiable. So let's take a look at these 7 categories that will make up your grade. And they basically have to do with all of the usual English class stuff. Reading, writing, discussing, thinking, revision, vocabulary, grammar, all these things. So mastery of our unit summatives. A-level work would be you've mastered all unit summatives. So what that means is a unit is every time we have a large project or an essay, I'm going to give you 2 or 3 or 4 particular things to work on for that unit. So it's not like every essay is we're grading the kitchen sink. It's more like for this essay, we worked on evidence and commentary. So have you mastered that? And so I'll be able to tell you when you submit it, yes, you've done it. No, you haven't. If the answer is yes, you're good. If the answer is no, guess what? You get to go back and revise it. It's a bit like getting a driver's license. I don't care if you have to take the driver's exam 10 times before you get your license, 4 times, or if you get it on the first time. What matters is that you get there. And so that's how this class is built. So over the course of the semester, if you've revised it as many times as you needed to and you've got to mastery in all of them, you've got A-level work in this category. All right, to continue the driving metaphor, I think to become a better writer, it's like becoming a better driver. You just need to spend time driving. You can become a better driver by talking about driving minimally, but what really is going to get you there is just spending time behind the wheel. So this expectation is the English class equivalent of spending time behind the wheel with writing. I want you to try and generate as many original pages of text as you can. Can you generate 40 or more pages of original text, that's double-spaced and everything, for this class? This would put you, by the end of the year, if we do another 40, there'll be 80 pages you write by the end of the year. You're going to be a better writer by the end of that. So based on where you fall in that spectrum, it would be, F, C, B, or A-level work there. With grammar, we're going to have quizzes occasionally, and I'm going to take a super score. There are 5 parts to these quizzes. So if at some point all 5 parts have been mastered, let's say you did it all 5 in the first quiz, or you did it 2 in the first 2 quizzes, and then 1 in the third quiz. It doesn't matter. At some point, if you've gotten all 5 parts, that would be A-level work. Our vocabulary practice is MEMBing, of course. 30 minutes a week for the semester gives us 480 minutes for the semester. But I don't care if you do 30 minutes a semester or if you do 90 minutes in 1 week. Or excuse me, I said 30 minutes a semester. I don't care if you do 30 minutes a week Or if you do 90 minutes one week and skip 2 weeks, because sometimes you get busy. Sometimes there are sporting events. I would like to cap it at 45 minutes of practice a day because that's what is going to have a meaningful storing in your long-term memory. But as long as you get to 480 by the end of the semester, that's what matters. That'll get you the A-level work. We're going to have Harkness discussions, and I have divided Harknesses into 6 balances that you need to maintain. Of course, if you click that link, you'll find more about it. At any point in the semester, have you demonstrated a mastery of all 6? So that could be you do all 6 in one Harkness, or you do 1 per Harkness over the course of 6 Harknesses. I will aim to have 6 over the course of the semester. Doesn't matter, as long as you get there. For Dearbook and Harkness, this is where we gauge our pleasure reading for the semester. Of course, we'll be in book clubs, and I'm going to ask you to do a Harkness with your book club. If you complete that and then read at least 200 pages of something over the course of the semester, you will get the full points there. And then when we talk about revision, I'm going to be teaching you an excellent method called the CRISP method for revision and clarity. And if you can revise at least a half page of your writing this semester using all 5 parts of the CRISP method, that'll give you A-level work. So this is the standard. You can do it in any time, in any order. This is just what you need to have by the end of the semester. So let's pretend that it's the end of the semester and you and I sit down and you have a conference and you know exactly where you stand, and we're going to say it's highlighted in green here. This is how we're going to calculate our grade. So for everything in the A category, it's 4 points. Everything in B is 3. Everything in C is 2. Everything in F level is 1 point. So let's take a look at this. Let's say this is where you end up, and we add it up. We said, okay, summatives, we got 3, and a number of pages generated. Let's say you did 27 pages, so that would be C level work for 2 points. You got all the points on the super score for grammar. You got 483 minutes of membean, so that's 4 points there. You got 4 out of 6 Harkness balances, so that's 2 out of 4 there. You got your Dearbook Harkness and 320 pages of extra stuff read. Excellent, that's A level. And then you did 4 out of 5 on the CRISP method of revision, so that's 3. And that gives you a score of 22. Now there are 7 categories, so we'll divide it by 7. And then these numbers here, in addition to the points, also stand for the averages. So we got essentially pi, 3.14. So a solid F is 65, a solid C is 75, a solid B is 85, and a solid A is 95. So if you look at this scale here, a 3 would be an 85%. That's a solid B, and you got just over that. So I would give that an 86 for the semester. Now, let's say you did your summer reading extra credit for the fall. That'll give you an extra +1. That would take you to an 87. But that's how your score will be calculated. If you notice, too, the lowest you can get in my class is a 65%, which is, of course, still failing. But to me, that's a lot more fair. Why is it that we have a grade scale of 100 points, but almost 2/3 of it count as failing? That doesn't seem to be setting yourself up for success. So this just as a side point there. So anyway, that's how the grade is calculated, and I hope this video gives some clarity. Please let me know if you have any further questions.